Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are doing great. Hope that all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, hope that you are in good health. Once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, my friends, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So, once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. So, for today, we're going to talk about the system. And for me, anyone have been watching my videos or been following me from the beginning of this project, or from the time I started doing my videos on the Common Sense channel, you would realize or you would know that I've always talked about a system. I talk about a system because I see within a system lies another system. And that's why I always talk about them. And I've always say on my channel that I hope that all Americans or maybe people of the world can see that everything in this world that we know to be realistic are all facade, including all the system that we've been programmed to believe that they are real, that they exist within the matrix. It's a facade. So today we're going to talk about a system. We're going to talk about Thomas Massie, a great man. I think he's always going to be a great person. Why is he a great person? Because he stands on ethics, he stands on morality, he stands on principles. And that's what all of us supposed to be. All of us supposed to be individuals like Thomas Massie. Why should we be like Thomas Massie? Why? Because every human being evolve. We all evolve. Like our views may be different, and no one can say this is a lie. Because the views that you held when you were 20 years old, it's not the same views that you hold now when you're 50 years old. If you are still holding the same views that you held when you were 20 years old, that means, my friends, there hasn't been any evolution in your life. When you talk of evolution, you're not talking of your body's size or your shape of your body changing to something opposite of yourself. It's evolution is all the changes that are happening in your development. You understand? That including your growth, that including the way you think, your thought process, the way you do things, your behavior. That's evolution. You understand? It don't have to do with what people changing from apes to human beings, from human beings to apes, from apes to human beings or something else. No. It's the way you think. You understand? Your growth, let's say your growth in general, is your evolution. So when human beings are, like, for instance, some of us can be real conservative in our thoughts. And then as time goes by, we can be liberal in our thoughts. Or sometimes we can be progressive in our thoughts. It don't mean that because if a person changes in the thinking process, that they should be penalized for that. I think Thomas Massie is one of them, you know. But when we talk of the system, which is our topic for today, Thomas Massie came out of a system. Thomas Massie was birthed out of frustration in 2024 of people who wanted to see the same change that he is speaking against today. You understand? And because he came out of that system, which is a broken system, which is a system that's more towards um, having things the way they want to have it. For instance, I don't think, me personally, I don't think in this country it should be set up this way where you cannot vote in a Republican primary. You have to be a Republican to vote in a Republican primary. I think all the states in this great nation should try to do away with this stuff, because what it's doing is promoting a a system of two-party system. And since we're talking about the system, let's just go ahead and talk about this. A two-party system, and human beings are not designed to think two ways. We are very diversified. Humans are diversified. This is true in the way we think. In one individual, right, can be a libertarian, can be a progressive, can be a liberal, can be a conservative, can be a Second Amendment person, can be a not so Second Amendment person, can be all these multiple individual in one human being. You know, like for instance, me personally, there are views in me that are liberal. There are views of me, a perspective of moi that's conservative. There are views that I share that are libertarian. That are views, there are views that I share that are leftist. You understand? There are views that I share that are in between. You understand? So for me to just, limit my views to two political ideologies, I think it's a huge disservice to people who believe in democracy or people who believe in a system that works. And that's the reason why, if you watch my videos, I often focus on the system, because when I look at it, I'm looking at the human condition, and I'm looking at it as such that we're not limited in our thinking. So why should we have a system that limit us in how we think and who we can vote for and how we vote? And that's exactly what the two-party system is doing. So if Thomas Massey was birthed out of that old system, I don't know his districts. I don't know the combination of his districts. I don't know the people that are living in that district where he was birthed out of. You understand? So if you can allow a system that say people can vote in these primaries, that it's not only relegated to Republicans only, that's a good system. That's a democracy, because why is it a democracy? Even though I don't believe in democracy, I don't think it exists. Why is it, let's say for discussion, for this video, for the sake of this video, let's say it's open up to the public and it's not just relegated to only Republican. That means people who are independent, Kentuckians who are independent, can vote. They wouldn't have to switch their political affiliation. And I don't think no one should be switching. If you're a citizen of a country, you should be able to vote for whomever you want, you know? And because the system is set up that way, it excludes those other people who are sitting on the fringe, who maybe want change, and who maybe see change in Thomas Massey. Now they cannot vote because it's only Republican. And if you look at the demographic of people, all the old, me, I'm not going to say it's all old people, all the old people in Kentucky that voted for the other guy. Because not all old people think like that. I know a lot of old people that are leftist. I know a lot of old people that are progressive, you know. And me, I'm only going to speak about those two, leftist and progressive. Because even MAGA are progressive. Thomas Massie is a progressive. All he needs to do right now, and I think Thomas Massie, if you're listening, don't give up. Let me tell you, you shouldn't give up. Those people that stand on the right side of history will always win. You've broken the chain. And your election, you can ask Donald Trump. He knows this too. Because what you're going through, it's the same thing Trump went through. And he told the American people that he was going to fix the broken system. The system is broken. And anyone looking from outside can see it. That is broken. And America has always been the country that the whole world looks to the system. Why is the system working? You know why? Because of the Constitution. The great many men and women. The great many men and women. I will include women too. Because if you look into history, you see for some of those great men, people like John Adams, behind them were their wives. Most of the founding fathers, the wives were not just sitting home quiet. They were active people too, who helped birth out the women's suffrage movement. So these were not just women just sitting on the side. They were very active. But these women, men, they made this country what it is. That Constitution is what holds this country. It's not democracy. That stuff they talk of. And Trump said he was going to fix the system. And we see what the system. I personally always know this stuff. I always know. You know, you can check all my videos. You see, I always talk about democracy because I know it's a facade. I know it doesn't exist. It's just there to make the peasant, or they call them the commoners, feel that they've done something. They've participated in their own demise. Or maybe they've sold themselves to the wolves, or to make them feel good of themselves. That's what this whole democracy thing is. You wouldn't see it here. It wouldn't make sense. Like what I'm saying to you wouldn't make sense in America, or maybe somewhere in the Western countries, but in those third world countries, you see. Because people who migrate to this country, they see you in the glass house and they can see everything in it. They can see it because they're from different world and they're coming into this world, so they can see. So you have to listen. That's what I do. I saw this stuff, like I told you in previous video. I saw it since I was in high school. It doesn't exist. So when you live in a broken system that needs fixing, you shouldn't laugh at people who are victim of it. You understand? Instead, you should look to see what happened to them. But above all, it's always good to stand on principles. Look, the things that you believe must be the things that you believe. They must not only be the things that you believe, my friends. They must always or also be the things that you're willing to stand on, that you're willing to put your life on, that you're willing, my friends, to defend. You know what it's called? Integrity. You know, although sometimes money can buy integrity, money can buy trust. Money can buy almost everything. Let me tell you, everything in life has a price. The only thing that doesn't have a price in life are individuals with integrity. I'm saying this to you, Mr. Thomas Massey. What you have done in these past months leading to your defeat yesterday, I won't even say it's your defeat, because you have proven my point. I've been making this point now for a long time now, over a year. I've been telling the people that it's a broken system. That's the reason why people like us, because we're looking from the outside, we see. It's the reason why we're independent. Let me tell you, the majority of Americans are independent because they don't want to be controlled by no one. They don't want to be a stooge for these two political parties. How is it that an individual, the sitting president of a country, can tell a constituents of a state who to vote for? And you don't even see that as a problem. They call that endorsement against another citizen. And you don't think it's a problem. When others did that to Mr. Trump, he wasn't happy about it. Trump is someone that speak out. And I think Mr. Trump has changed the way politicians will be in this country forever, whether you like it or not. Because he's very vocal. And I think any politician coming out of this country, now or in the future, must always must be vocal, number one, and stand on principle. Say what you believe. Don't be afraid. Don't think about what people are going to say. Don't think about what they're going to think. Just say them because you believe them. That's what Trump is. Anytime Trump says something, don't see them as a joke. He believes them. And that's what politicians are supposed to be. And not only supposed to be, that's what they are that's what they will be. Those days are gone where a politician can come and stand up and just say something, and then in less than 30 minutes he retracts them. You see Trump doing that? Trump do not do that. So, Mr. Massey, here's the thing. Don't be disappointed. Don't feel like they've won. The people with money. Let me tell you how this whole thing works. You see, I don't have anything against people with money, because in this country, anyone can subscribe to where they are. They must have come from somewhere to be where they are. So I always say bravo to them, those with money. There are good people out here with money, and they use their money for good stuff. What are these good stuff? Those things that you think are evil or bad or terrible. Some people don't see them as that. Here's the thing. The way we see the world are different. Our perspective are different. It's different because that's how we think. That's how we process things. It's cultural too. So if you look at, oh, what this person is doing is evil, they don't see it as that. To them, it's the right thing. And people with money will put their money to things that they see as good, even if you're seeing it as bad. So the way we perceive the world is our diversity. And all that person needs with money is few other people that shares his same belief or sees the world the way he or she sees it. That's it. You understand? For example, if I want to build a resort, say in places like California, and I'm a Republican and I have money, I'm rich, we're talking about billions of dollars, and I'm catching hell in California because some Democrat candidate who is in charge is giving me a hard time, what do? I look at my checkbook, I look at my bank account, and I says to myself, what in this world, including California, that doesn't have a price? Now, if I look through all of California and I can't find someone that has a price, I'll create one. You understand? So if I create a candidate, what do? I put my money. It's called investment. Rich people do that all the time. The system allows that. Again, the system. So it's not even illegal. You understand? So they'll create a candidate and they will put the money that that candidate needs. It's called investment to win. You may see that as wrong, but to them, it's what it's a mechanism to get what they want. So now when that candidate wins, what do you think that candidate is going to do? Do you think they're going to be working in the interest of the constituents that voted for them or the person that created them? So he's going to get his building project done, and then they're going to be in office. Now, should he or she comes back and need more or want to expand, they're going to pour another investment and give him another 4 years or her another 4 years. That's how it works. It's a system. Now, how do you, Mr. Thomas Massey, fix the system? It's to re-energize yourself. So you don't take this as a defeat. You take this as a win because now you have exposed the very thing that are hidden beneath the facade called democracy. You understand? In the world we live in, money speaks. You know, people want money. And because people want money, money, they would do anything for it, including selling themselves, prostituting themselves, and even throwing others under the bus if that's what it takes. You understand? Now, a lot of people have said in the past that you should get money out of politics. I think it's desperation. I'm a realist, and I'm not going to sit here on my channel, on the Common Sense channel, for all places, and tell you that you can get money out of politics. You cannot. It's impossible. It's never happened in any places in the world, and it's sure not going to happen in this country. Understand? Even in medieval age or in medieval time, money was politics. Money is politics everywhere. You'll find in every sector. Money, money, money. You understand? Money is like corruption. I won't say without money, there won't be no corruption. Because as long as there's greed, there's corruption. And as long as there's greed, There's money, money equals corruption. So you're always going to have stuff like that. So the question is, Mr. Massey, Thomas Massey, you did not lose. As far as I'm concerned, I'm an independent and I see the world different. I think all independents are like that. They see the world different. They see the reality. For them, it's more about the reality. It's not about political parties and stuff like that. But I think the best thing we can do, so our voice, because sometimes I feel we're isolated. I feel isolated. I feel like people take a lot of advantage of independence because independent voters because we're not in the mix, you know. We're not like part of the Democrat, we're not part of the Republican. But at some point we must vote. Whether we're voting for the right people or not, we still have to. We don't believe the illusion of democracy, but at the same time we're looking in it for what's in it for us. It's all about what's in it for us and our families and our communities and the places we live, you know, including the country too. So we're stuck between these two political losers, you know. I saw one person celebrating a Democrat winning a seat in Texas. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? These are the same people. Why are you celebrating that? You shouldn't be celebrating a Democrat winning anything because that's not even change. That's not, I just explained to you how the whole thing works. These people are plants. These people are grown. These people are recruits. These people are bought. These people have already been programmed to work for the system before they even ran. It just take few good men, few good women. For example, Thomas Massey, that came out of a constituency of older Republican. Maybe that's what they want us to believe, because that's the talking point out there. Oh, the older majority of the people that voted against Thomas Massey's were older Republicans. As if there are no older Republicans in there that voted for Mr. Massey. They birthed him. He came out of their town, their cities, their district. That's where he came out. No one knew him before. Maybe he was one of the locals before 2024. But he went to Congress with the promise to do the right thing. Because he saw what President Trump was standing on, make America great. And he says, I want to be part of this. He says, I want to be part of the generation that will make America great. That's not a crime. It's not a bad thing to want to do. And that's why we all feel for him. You know, I don't feel for him because I'm not sentimental. I'm not emotional. I don't want you to feel like that. But we feel for him that could happen to anyone, any Americans. So you shouldn't be laughing, you shouldn't be cheering for what happened to him, because he had good intention for not just Kentuckians, the great people of Kentucky, but for the country at large. And then to see the same individual that cheered him up, the one he looked up to, I mean Mr. Trump, President Trump, to do that to him. You know, I know if you did that to Trump, he'll call you out. We saw on numerous occasions where people that he helped to get into fame, power, stabbing in the back, and how Trump addressed them. He wasn't even nice with his words when he talked about them. Thomas Massie took the other road and he just talked. I listened to him. That's decency. So, Mr. Massie, the role or the race has just started for you. You're young, you're smart, you're not stupid. You did the right thing. You stand on principle. It's like what you believe. It's evolution, my friend. You go every one of us, sometimes they call it midlife crisis. Woman goes through that and men goes through that too. You come up with your minds are fixated this way, and then later on you stumble upon the truth and your mind change. That's evolution. It's not you didn't betray no one, Mr. Massey. You didn't betray no one. You didn't swear allegiance to no party. You didn't swear allegiance to no individual or individuals. You sworn an allegiance to America. You swore an allegiance to the people of this country and the great men and women of Kentucky. That's it. And that's who your allegiance is to this country and the people of Kentucky and this country. That's it. You didn't swear an allegiance to a party. That's what they want us to think. That if you can't be a Democrat, you must be a Republican. And if you can't be a Republican, you must be a Democrat. So here's the thing. I think, Mr. Massey, you can do. Take some time away from all of this noise, all of the name calling, this and that, especially they're calling the traditional media. They're going to be saying stuff about you. Just block everything. Pretend as if you're living in a stone house where there are no windows. It's just you inside and your lovely family. Hmm? Some people go in places where the phone doesn't even work and you just stay there. Get some clarity, think, sit down, surround yourself with people that are not yes sir, yes ma'am people, people that are willing to think independently, strategize, and come back. Come back and run as an independent. If you can recruit as many people, I think it would be, for me, I think it would be more democratic when we have maybe 20% of independent in Congress. Just see it, just think about what that would do if you have 20% of independent candidates in Congress, or maybe 15% of progressive. I mean, these people should be standalone. They should run as a progressive. They should run as independent. And then that way, most European countries are set up that way. You know, most other countries in the world are not set up in a two-party system. There is no way a country can be a democracy with a two-party system. No. Some of them like to say the Constitution. If you want to say the Constitution is a constitutional republic, that's why Abraham Lincoln called it federalism. He was a federalist. He believed in the centralized, there's all these unitary states, but then there's a federal that distribute power or protect the rest of the unitary states. He's a federalist. If you want to see it that way, you can see it that way. Or if you want to see us a constitutional republic, that's what I think it is. America is constitutional republic. You understand? The constitution is like the guide, and that's why the judiciary always check. Like recently, Mr. Trump passed the tariff. The judiciary branch they step in and say, "Hey, no, this is how." And he didn't say nothing because he's a constitutionalist. And I don't want to say much, but let's just leave it at that. But democracy in and of itself has to do with the vote. People going to vote freely. And not only that, people are going to vote thinking that they are voting for their candidate of choice. And not to have someone or something change that, like rigging the system, like buying people to rig the system. I know Trump was talking about it when he lost to what's his name, Joe Biden. He was livid. He was upset. And this man was so upset. He said he was going to change the system. He was saying words like "drain the swamp." Nowadays, you can't even hear him say that. Like, that's a slogan for 2024. 2026 has another slogan. Maybe there won't be any. You understand? So when things happen like this, all you can do is to pause. Don't be emotional. Let me tell you, emotion is man's worst enemy. A man that's emotional is not stable. A man that's emotional, anybody, anything can get under the skin. A man or a woman that's emotional is dangerous to the self and to others. So the least you can do, Thomas Massie, is to try. I don't know if you can fix the system. No Americans, no amount of votes can fix the system. You cannot fix the system using the Democrats. Not going to happen. Because the system uses money. Money is the medium of exchange for goods and services. In a democracy, you don't need to produce goods. But if you produce services, you get money back. It's the same. In a democracy, money equals goods. No, services equals goods, money equals goods, and money equals services. In a democracy. As long rich people, people with money, have an interest to do things that they want, regardless of if you see it as evil. Because some of you, every little thing is evil. Not everything that you think is evil or good is good or evil. It's only good in your eyes. But in the eyes and minds of others, it's not. In the eyes and minds of others, it may be bad, but you are seeing it as good. All it takes is someone that can connect with as many people as they possibly can to enact whatever they see as good into reality, whether if you see it as bad. It's how our world is. That's why I do these videos. I don't just come and talk about things, oh, you're bad, bad, bad. No, I like to give you a philosophical understanding of why people do what they do. Because until you understand why people do what they do, you wouldn't be able to understand why things are what they are. Things are not what they are because they want to be that way. Things are what they are because of what people do, because of how people see the world. So Thomas is a hill to climb. Me personally, I look forward to a day when, as long as I live in this country, that at least independent voters can have a voice in Congress. And I think it's going to be good for debating too. It's going to be good for having discussion that are relevant to the survival of this country, to the development of this country. Because if left alone, if this country is left alone with a two political party system in this country, nothing new would be done and nothing would change. I saw AOC, Presidente, Madame Presidente, AOC. She was yelling. I mean, it's the same old tactics. You don't have to yell, AOC. You done. Look, you can't. Some of them, I think, it's the audience that they're talking to too. They think they have to yell. They have to show fervent that they are tough. You know, you don't have to. Even the toughest people in this world, they don't yell. Some of them don't even talk. It's action. You know, like stop using the race thing. No. People are tired of that stuff, race. If you're talking to black people, talk about things that are tangible, things that they want that they can get for their family, not that old school thing. It's stuff people don't eat emotion anymore. People want tangible. You know, stop yelling. You're fighting all the time. How long? When will you rest? At some point in your life, you gotta say, look, we fought a good fight. Like the Apostle Paul, I fought a good fight. It's time for me to go in glory and rest to eternity. When are you gonna say that? You're always gonna be fighting like some of these politicians. I'm fighting for you. Yeah, you're fighting for yourself. But yeah, I think independent people. That's who I'm advocating for. Because I'm independent. I've been independent for a long time. Because I saw all that stuff, all the charade and all the facade and all the fakery. I saw it. And I say, you know what? I'd rather be an independent. I I choose who I can vote for. You can send all your flyers to my house. I look at them. If you're not supporting the Second Amendment, not gonna vote for you. I don't care who you are. Yeah, that if you're not running on anything that's constitutional, not gonna vote for you. Yeah, but if you are running on something democracy, because I already know it's a facade, it doesn't exist, I'm not gonna vote for you. If you start talking to the people, no, not voting for you. It has to be based on the Constitution, because that's the only thing that separates you from those who are trying to screw you. If you don't know, take it from the Common Sense channel. The only thing in this country right now, in 2026, that protects you from those who are thinking every day to screw you is the Constitution. Believe it or not. Yeah. You can see it. Like you look at the whole system. Once your eyes are open, my friends, you can see what I'm telling you. That's why I always advocate on my channel. Like, if you watch my videos, you'll notice every time towards the end of my video, I always repeat this, that the greatest thing that can ever happen to you is not the day you're born. It's the day you discover yourself. I do that for a reason, because the more you repeat things, the more they become, the more they resonate, and the more they make sense. And it's true. Ask anyone. The thing that you want to have happen to you is for you to discover yourself. Even in your own relationship, if you've been taken for a ride, if you haven't discovered yourself in that relationship, you wouldn't know. But the moment you find yourself in that relationship, my friends, you see that your partner or your wife or your wifey or your girlfriend has been taking you for a ride or taking you to the dry cleaner, and you didn't even know all these years, and now you're broke and you're sorry, you're emotional, and then she dumps you or he dumps you. You see? So discovering yourself is the beginning of your evolution. And I think Thomas Massey has discovered himself. I don't think he even believes in democracy right now. I don't think Thomas Massey believes that the system works right now. And that's where he needs to be in order for him to try to fix it. And that should be your work now. Your work going forward, Mr. Massey. Don't let him just sideline you, malign you, put you on the side and say, hey, we're done with you now. You never go anywhere. Don't ever allow people do that to you. They can trash you, they can defeat you that way. But you can come back and be a formidable force. And I see you, man. You're a fighter. Yeah, come back. Because now you've proven to a lot of Americans that the system is rigged, and that the only thing they can do is grassroots. I've said it many times on my channel. If all of the people agrees in the constituencies, the various constituencies, they can elect people within the grassroots. They probably spend less than $1,000 or $2,000 door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, campaigning, making the case. So what you need to do, that you're not getting someone that's coming from somewhere you don't know. No ideas about them. You don't know where they're from. You don't know who presented them to you. Like in most community, you just see someone pop up from nowhere. You don't know who is facilitating them financially, who is sponsoring. You don't know nothing about them. They just showed up. Some of them look like you. Some of them talk like you. Some of them behave like you. Some of them do the same kind of things like you. But if you know, like little John in the neighborhood that grew up there, know his mom, you know his dad, he's part of the neighborhood, and he's smart. He wants to contribute to his society. He wants to change things. Yeah, you know his background. He sees what's happening in the neighborhoods. He sees that people's needs are not being met. He look at the price of gas. He look at everything happening. He wants to make change. Yeah, those are the kind of individual you're supposed to be supporting. Not like someone from that part, those two parties coming up to you and say, vote for this guy. Like the president did to Mr. Massey. Said, this guy right here, this is the one I've appointed. And that's who you Kentucky Republicans must vote for. Man, that's a lot of power. I wish I have this kind of power, bro. Any human being, take it from the Common Sense channel, that has that kind of power, they're God. You take it, leave it, however you want to see it, it's up to you. Any human being that can control a group of individuals as if they are puppet, being pulled by strings, and tell them, you vote for this. That's who I want you to vote for. And they go, and they vote for that person. That's power. If you don't know how power works, that's power, my friend. Because at the end of the day, whatever you voted for in that person, it's not going to benefit you. It's going to benefit the person that told them told you to vote for them or that individual, not you. And but our world is not as fair as you think. I'll never use the word fair on my channel because I know that word doesn't exist. Fairness. Don't ever be doing anything with anyone and say, "Oh, well, you're not fair to me." No, it doesn't exist. People would do things that benefit them and their interests. You understand? Regardless of whether it's gonna hurt you or not, there, that's how it is. It is what it is. Understand? So, if Massie can take this, and I know he's tough, take this, move on. I've been watching you because I wanted to prove some of the things I've been saying on my channel. I've been saying this thing here for a long time now because I see it. I know Americans will wake up. Sometimes you need events like that so that you start to wake up to see. Because if anyone is spending their money on anyone in this country or during election time, it's not even illegal. You see, the system makes that happen. The system actually encouraged money in the electoral process. It never used to be like that. Look at American history, you see. Never used to be like that. But money is infused in the system and it's legal. So you can't be upset when people who has money do that, put their money into it. Whether it's fair, it is what it is. The only thing you can do is grassroots. If you want a certain candidate, you vote for them. It just happened to be it's a primary. In a primary, anything goes. It's just not anything goes, but in a primary, it's just relegated to a certain group, and I think that's not even democracy. But again, that's a different topic. I mean, you can argue that all you want, but yeah, that's how the system is set up. If you're not Democrat, you can vote in a Republican primary. Is even independent can even vote in a primary. So it just only them. So this, and they're the ones that birth him from that constituent. So they're like, hey, we're gonna spit you out. Um, and so I don't know how it works, but again, I know Kentucky are great. Kentuckians are great people, so we don't know. Anyway, with time. But yeah, Mr. Thomas Massie, keep your head up, my friend. Um, I know they'll call you all sort of names. We don't see it like that. We heard you. We listen to you talk. We know you're not no hater of nobody out here. Nobody hit nobody here. It's all about America first. You know what I mean? Like people who have a agenda, they will say anything. And they are entitled to their opinion too. I always say like if you come on my channel, you say something, I'm not gonna be upset at you. Yeah, you're entitled to that. I give you that. I'm also entitled to my opinion too. So but yeah, if you love something, you want it to be better, you want it to be great. Because the thing is, if everyone is doing good, it's a better world. That's how I see it. That we are, even if you're poor, but if you have food to eat, you don't have to go steal or kill or murder anyone or lie anyone. It's a good thing for society. But if you don't have food, the bare necessities, I most certainly know that you will be menace to society. Is how it is. So that's why everyone needs must be taken care of. Some people call it socialism. Some people call it communism. Yeah, but it's how you see it. And some people don't even think those two systems are good, even though they're practicing them. But because their eyes are not open, they can't see it. So yeah, man, I just wanted to do this video because I've been following, I've been listening, just like every Americans out here, been listening and we've been looking at the evolution of the man named Thomas Massie in America, 2026. and how that ended. But I don't think it's over for you. Hmm? So you take this advice from the Common Sense channel and just fight, fight, fight. You don't have to raise your fist. You can just say fight, fight, fight. Hmm? So I've always say, I want to say thanks to all the people that watch my videos, all the people that continuously subscribe to my channel, including those new subscribers. Welcome to the Common Sense channel, my friends. On this channel, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. Eh? These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So welcome. And most importantly, my friends, hope that you are doing great. Hope that all is pleasant for you. And I hope that you and your family are in good health. The greatest thing that could ever happen to anyone is not the day you were born, not the day you bought your first car, the day you graduated from high school, college, the day you became a lawyer, doctor, an engineer, minister, presidente, president, whatever you call yourself out here. The greatest thing that could ever happen to you, my friends, is the day you discover yourself. Because from that day on, you'll be like Thomas Massie, that went into a political storm and saw and discovered the truth and said to himself, I have to turn this thing around. This is not what I bargained for. And that's where all of us want to be in our lives. You know, when people are younger, they're like that. And as they get older, they change. Some people stay like that because they've discovered themselves early on. They don't change. You know, that's what the world is. So I guess when he discovered himself, he started speaking up. And those who put him there said, no, you got to go. And he did everything he could. That's the story of a great man. Have a pleasant day. And thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you.